Party of British Columbia, Jan Sterk.
I wasn't really nervous until I got here, but thank you, I'm delighted and quite moved actually that I've been chosen the leader. I feel quite honored to be elected to lead the Green Party of BC because I think it represents hope for the future. And I'm really delighted at the opportunity to shake up BC politics. I really enjoy doing is creating discomfort. And I know how to do it quite strategically. And you could ask people at the CRD board table and at my council about that process of how I can create tension in the room. And I think that I will enjoy that process. I'd like to spend a few minutes just talking to the other candidates because I know you're disappointed and probably a bit hurt that the membership hasn't chosen you. And if you're like me, you're probably a little bit relieved that it's over. No more sleeps. And I want you to know that I won't be around forever. I'm 60 years old and there will be another convention in 2011. If I win a seat in 2009, I hope the party will want me to lead us into the first STV legislature in 2013.
Yeah!
And if I don't, then I'll have to decide what I do in 2011 in the next leadership race. But I promise you that the party will be in good shape. And I'll let you know that definitely I won't be running in 2015. The maximum you have me for is 8 years. And if I change my mind at that point in time and decide that, I want to stay a little bit longer, I know that somebody will tell me, Jane, it's time to go. I've had several incidents in my life where that happened. When I was writing my dissertation and it was taking me forever to do it, my statistics guy, who I was afraid of because I'm not a stats person, said, Jane, write it up. You're done. And when I had a business that was not financially viable, the guy that I admired the most, my technical guy, said, Jane, it's time to call it a day. And so I know that I have friends and probably a spouse that will tell me when it's time to go. And another reason for that is that I have plans for things that I want to do while I'm still young. For some of you, young might feel 40, but for me it's looking like 70 or 80. And one of the things I want to do with my husband is to spend some time in Holland. I went there this last summer and I really want to have an opportunity to be immersed in another culture.
Great place.
I want to take just a few minutes to thank my supporters. I'm not going to thank them all by name, but I want to thank some of the people that phoned on my behalf in the last push to get out the vote. The people who are in the room, I had about 30 to 40 people that were phoning on my behalf, but people that are here are Murray Gudmundson, Ian Gregson, Murray Weisenberger, John Sterk, my husband, Walter Myers-Earp, and James Falk, and Hendrik DePactor, Diane Perry, Garth Woodworth, Crystal Watson, Stephen Hurdle, Cheryl McLaughlin, and Gordon Colca. I also want to thank I have to tell you, on the way home last night, I asked John and Ian how long they thought I could speak, and they said, well, you can speak as long as you want. So, but I'm not going to speak forever. I also would like to to thank publicly Hy Friedman. He's a fellow councillor on Esquimalt Council. He's also my financial agent and a very strict CA, so nothing passes by him. And he's also a very good friend. I want to thank Stella Archer and Steve Birch, who did my website. I see Ann Clementis there. I also want to thank her for phoning. I want to thank Ian Graveson, who, for whatever presence I had on Facebook, it was due to Ian. I'm actually Facebook challenged, I think they would call it. I want to thank mayors and councillors in this Greater Victoria region. When I decided to run, I approached several people and I said, would you be willing to write a statement about me and how I am in your experience of me? And I didn't ask them to do that as an endorsement for me as leader, but simply, would you make a statement? And Mayor Hill and Mayor Clement, Mayor Hill is the mayor of New Royal, and Mayor Clement is the mayor of Esquimalt. Both immediately decided to do that, and I have comments from Councillor Andrew Fall from the Highlands, Sonia Chandler from Victoria, Karen Green from North Saanich, and again Hy Friedman from my council. I asked others, and they felt that they didn't want to make that kind of a statement because they had party affiliations that they felt would be compromised. So this campaign, especially the last part of it, which I found particularly difficult, reminded me about what's important in life. Sometimes I forget that in the busyness of the day. Also, at the UBCM conference, a lecture by Thomas Homer Dixon, who some of you know from the University of Toronto as a political scientist. I was quite embarrassed on the part of municipal officials. There were less than 100 people in the room out of a conference of several thousand. Anyway, one of the things that he said at the very close of his discussion, which was about climate change and the importance of taking action, was that you remember your grandchildren. And so I wanted to show you mine. One of the reasons that I decided to enter this race is because of Sam. Sam is 20 months old and a wonderful, wonderful child. He's going to give his parents as much trouble as his dad gave us, and which is very delightful. So that's Sam, and that's one reason. The other reason is my son and his wife, and my other son and his wife. They're our future, they're my future, and I felt I could not, in the days ahead, say to Sam that I didn't take an opportunity to do something that would make a difference. And I believe that the Green Party is the place to make that difference. So on Monday morning, I'll be on CBC on the Island at 7:15.
Finally!
Some of you may have heard the political panel on Friday where Bob Plekas, a retired, I
Dinosaur.
stress the tired part, Socrat, said we won't be relevant in 2009 and we'd be lucky to get 5%. Elizabeth Cull, a former NDP cabinet minister, said if the Green Party didn't exist, most would vote for the NDP, and the rest that wouldn't vote for the NDP are just a protest group. Clark Roberts made the only sensible comment that I heard, which was that he would vote Green if he wasn't voting Liberal. And even he doesn't give us much of a chance, but he felt it was dependent on the leader and our policies. So I've been on that panel several times, and obviously I didn't make a positive impression when I was on the panel. So it should be an interesting moment on Monday when I challenge those perspectives. You've seen the press. Until today, the Times columnists didn't even address the race. Their only article this week was on Christopher Bennett, had nothing to do with the leadership race. Mark Hume in the Globe and Mail said vote NDP. those of you who go online to some of the online alternative newspapers will know that the Tyee kind of writes us off, many of their writers. Ish Thielman from Straight Goods said that in the Ontario election that the Green Party policy was incomprehensible. So to the press and political pundits who believe that the Green Party is not going to maintain our support, let alone improve it, I say just watch us. Asked me if I have time for the job, and I know I've had those questions asked of me, so I'm going to address the things I'm committed to and how I think they work or don't work within this job that I've just taken on. I teach a course, an undergraduate course at University of Canada West in the business environment, and I'm obligated to that until the 17th of December. It takes an hour and 3/4, 2 days a week. And I think I can weave it into a Green Party day. It's also really important because it gives me an opportunity to talk about sustainability with future business people and to really challenge people to think differently about how business can be involved in this great journey that we're on.
And sign up new members.
I've already signed up some of them. Just as an aside, one of them said, well, would you like to teach at Camosun College? And I said, well, wait till after the 20th. I have been elected to his final council. Before I decided to enter the race, I asked the mayor and the chief administrative officer what they thought. And they thought there was no conflict between my duties on council and the Green Party. And I've not come across anything so far that would be a conflict. If I did, I would know how to recuse myself. When I originally thought about the process, I thought, well, I'll see it through the budget, which is May 15th. That's our contractual obligations from the government of BC. And then I might take a leave till the 1st of July and then resign. That's the date at which you can resign according to the Community Charter and the Local Government Act without the municipality having to hold a by-election. But I've been rethinking that plan because I'm making a difference on council, and I'm making a difference in my CRD work at both the committee level and when I sit at the CRD board table. It also gives me a profile, and if by any chance the recommendations of the electoral boundaries commissions hold, then the South Vancouver Island will change dramatically, and I think there are no safe seats for the Liberals or the NDP. One of the proposed changes is that there will be a district called Victoria-Esquimalt, and that's where I'm best known. So I think it would strategically be an opportunity to make sure I'm still highlighted in the press and in an area where people are going to read about me. The other thing that I think is that we're going into silly season at municipal council level where people start campaigning from the council table because they want re-election. I see Mike nodding his head. He's probably experienced that as a mayor. And I think that one of the benefits of having someone that is clearly not going to be running again is that the mayor can make some non-political appointments that make a difference for him. And he's intending to serve for re-election, and I'm intending to support him. And it also gives me great opportunities. I get to go to events that you just can't imagine, the opportunities that municipal officials. We get invited to all kinds of things, seminars, networking events, and I think it also gives me a chance to highlight my profile and speak about things that are important. And again, I feel I can work the Esquimalt Council duties into my day and weave it into a Green Party day. It's not a full-time job. I get paid $10,000 a year, so I feel it's an honorarium, and I feel I can do the job. So, do I have a plan? Well, I do have a plan. I plan to rest for a couple of days. And I plan to call people that are really important to me. I have a friend who had surgery for breast cancer, and I haven't talked to her in months, and I feel very badly about that. And I have family that I haven't talked to for a long time, and people who supported me financially, and I want to spend some time on the phone talking to them first. I know that I've been getting some advice the last few days that I should act right away on things. And I have to tell you that the motto I live by in life is one from a woman called Virginia Satir. She was one of the best family therapists that ever walked the planet, and her motto was go slow to hurry. And so I'm going to use that as my motto in this case as well. I'm going to buy a book on the natural step. I've read about natural step on Wikipedia, but I want to find out the scientific basis for it because I think it might provide us with a way out of the divisions that happen within the Green Party about who's the deep green and who's the light green. And I'm sure those of you who are deep greens think I'm a light green. So we need to find a way to bridge that divide. And maybe we need to bring somebody in to put on a workshop for us about how it would work, and people who are interested in parts of policy and would like to take a policy forward might want to come and learn that so that they could work with committees to try and implement that into policy. I plan to meet with Walter Myers-Earpin to prioritize the things that are important. I'd like to meet with Provincial Council and get a handle on things that need to be done. And I would like to meet with the other candidates to see how they'd like to be involved. And I will consult with I'll consult with former leaders of all stripes that will give me good advice, I'm sure, to how I should go forward. So I don't have much plans beyond a couple of days, but that's where I'm going to start. I intend to advocate to Provincial Council that we should move the office to Victoria, and I know that's somewhat contentious in the party because Vancouver is recognizably a very critical part of our province. But I just can't spend my time and my money in transit. We need to get the party organized, and I think we can do that from Victoria with the intention of trying to get regional offices going in many parts of BC, including the Lower Mainland, so that we are ready for 2009. And I tell you, Walter and I intend to be ready for 2009. Fundraising, I'll spend my time there. Because we need money in order to do the things that we need to do. And again, I would like you to respond to Andrew's request to become a monthly donor today. And I intend to go to all the people that joined the party because of me and say, would you become a monthly donor? We need your support. I plan to phone the existing donors to thank them and ask them if they can give more. I plan to call the people who canceled their monthly donations for one reason or another, some because they didn't get their tax receipt on time, to ask them if they'll rejoin the team. I want to call the large donors, ask them to contribute to the cause so that we can get a good head start on things. And I plan to forego part of my salary in the first year of my mandate in order to make my monthly contribution to making this party work. I want you to know that I am a capitalist and I'm not willing to forego it forever, and I don't believe I'll have to. I believe we can bring the money in to support both a full-time staff people and to support a salary for the leader, and hopefully for the deputy leader. So I had thoughts about what we might do to get ourselves ready. I think we need training and effective campaigning for campaign managers and potential candidates. I have a friend from Alberta who ran a Liberal campaign in a Conservative riding, a grassroots campaign, and they were able to beat an incumbent Conservative with less money than a full amount of money that you could have for a campaign. And she has terrific ideas. She looked at my campaign strategy, and I had to pick myself up off the floor a day later because I realized how awful it was. And I thought, we need that kind of brutality. We need somebody that can say to us, we need to do this, this, and this. If you want to win, if you want to be competitive, you need to do this kind of thing. And I think she would be a great person. I imagine we also could maybe ask Shane Joey and his team from Ontario to come in and say, how did you do that? 33%. The best showing of any green. We have to know how that was done, and maybe he could help us get ourselves ready. And I've heard of other people who have been really effective in organizing campaigns, and I think we need to investigate, can we afford to bring people in? Can we put on a high-profile training institute for ourselves? So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my leadership style. I am not an alpha male. Testosterone driven. So you will see a dramatic difference in how I lead. I am calm, except when I'm not. I'm strategic and I'm a feminist. And all those things will be part of the persona that you see as your public spokesperson for what we develop as a party, as policy. I'm tenacious and I'm manipulative. Now, some people don't think being manipulative is a good thing. I was a psychologist, a PhD psychologist, and that's what you do. You manipulate people so that they can see themselves in a different light than they could see themselves before. And I do that at the council table, and I do that in my municipality. If I can't get something across at the council table, I'll go to staff and say, I want you to do this. Comes back to council, it doesn't have my name on it, great. And I get what I want. I'm playful. Some of you will know that one of the biggest feedbacks I ever get is you don't smile enough. And that's probably true. I sit now at council table. Like, practicing smiling so that everybody, I hope someday someone says, oh, I've noticed that you smile more than you used to. Anyway, I am playful. I do like to play, and I'm collaborative. And I do a lot of networking, and my life is relationship-based. I'm also very competitive. A day before the Esquimalt election, I said to John, my husband, who I didn't thank really except for phoning, but he's been great. I said, I'm going to top the polls. And he said, Jane, you can't even think like that. Well, I topped the polls. And so I am very competitive, and I will take us competitively into 2009. My intention to improve my media skills, and I've already had people that have volunteered to help me with that. I accept feedback and help, and I intend to ask for feedback and help so I can be a person that can present the green philosophy and the green ideas and the green policies in a way that you as members can be proud. Now, before I conclude, and you'll be glad that I'm close to the conclusion, I would be remiss not to thank Provincial Council, who have kept the party together in a very difficult year, I think. They were sort of abandoned by all the old guard, and a group of young, energetic, tenacious people came to the fore. And so I'd like to thank Christopher and Sven and Tom and Leanna and Andrew and Tina for all of the work that they've done. And if I've forgotten anybody in that list, you have my thanks as well. And I would like to thank Tori, who I think we need as a candidate in 2019. Jackie personally for making the last part of the campaign process more predictable and for being so responsible to our queries. It made the whole difference in the last 2 weeks of the campaign to have both of you there, willing to respond immediately to our requests and to our emails and to be ready at the phone at the other end. It just was 1,000 times different than the earlier part of the campaign, and I thank you both. That organized the AGM. It's been another successful AGM, and you've done a lot of work, and it's a very difficult thing when all you hear is complaints, but you did a great job. And I want to most of all thank members who voted for me and those who attended the AGM, and for all of the people who volunteered on all of the campaigns. I can't emphasize enough how difficult it is to be willing to put yourself out publicly and say, I'm intending to do this. This is my gift to you. This is my gift to the party. And it takes a team of people to support you. And I think we need to have a round of applause for all of the campaign teams of all of the Party of BC the competitive political force it needs to be in 2009. Thank you very much.